So, give her a round of applause.
No help, you just stand down, damn.
She's a vendor outside in the hallway if you want to check out Imani Creations. She's also one of those travel agents that can help you start your own business and travel agency. That's how you can get really decent prices. Look at all the boys that travel from all over the world. You get cheaper prices, hotel prices, all of that. Bed and breakfast, hotels. That's what you need to link up with us. Make sure y'all link up with that sister. She can show y'all one of the sisters and brothers in the organization how to start their own business and travel. She can do that. So give her a round of applause. Sister Imani Scott. Capricorn energy is in the building. Yeah. Now let me pick up some of the vendors in the building. Give a round of applause to all of the vendors. Come on. Of course, we got PUP in the building. Give them a round of applause. That's right. Raise up on the corner. Nine Mind Creation. Where you at, Nine Mind Creation? Give y'all a round of applause. They're in the building. Also want to big up Candace. Candace in the building. Candace in the building. Give her a round of applause. They're here. Also, my man got his beautiful products over there. That's the third high. Give him a round of applause. Life is what you make it. That's right. Also, we got a step over at Dr. Ma'az's table. Give Dr. Ma'az's table over there. They got a nice table with a computer on it. You know what we're doing? Yeah. Now, I know I got you. Trying to figure out what's the name of your company again? Anime Productions? All right. And what's your company over there, brother? Say what? Say it again. Now, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I got to call this mic. I'm playing around. I'm going to be Vanna White. Let me pick up all the vendors and we're going to do a black. Now, what's the name of your company, sir? This man, give him a round of applause. He got all his own drawings, his own with him and tell him you want the whole group of y'all. You know how many people have graduated out of Dr. Africa's classes and are practitioners now? Hey, with the bar science, all the families should learn what Dr. Africa has to offer. He's 70 years old. We don't know how long he's going to be here. Take advantage of this man. This man is not just a herbologist or a naturopath. He's a scientist. He takes you in the laboratory and tells you and shows you how the herb works and why it works. That's how Dr. Africa is. He works for the military, so he shows the medical world from an ethnic point of view. He shows you why white folks does not work with what our original people had. Like Europe. Don't work with what the original people had. So take advantage, those who want to study. Big up to all, man. And one thing, I was watching television the other day, and this darn commercial, blackpeople.com came on. And I said to myself, I know that's one thing the Moorish people ain't gonna be on no damn blackpeople.com. That's what I said to myself. I said, they ain't gonna be on that one. That's that Negro stuff. I like Negro people.com. Or African people. You can't be on that. And I find out on blackpeople.com, there's white folks in it. Trying to meet black women. That's why they need to get their status corrected and they need to know who they are, right? Them Europeans trying to take our women on blackpeople.com. I'm just saying. That's me. I got problems. I just analyze things like this. I'm sorry. What? Say it again? Yeah, they just need the body parts. Yeah, absolutely right. That's right. They just need the body parts. They want a piece of this woman's body and a piece of that woman's body. You know a breast goes for at least $2,000, right? A kidney is $80,000. Real talk. Piece of skin costs money. I got the whole chart on my computer. So we are worth a lot. Melanin that they extract from the pineal gland costs a lot of money. So we gotta watch out for our children. If you're having children, if you have babies, watch out for them because just because they gentrify the community, that's called gentrifying the community. They're gentrifying the community. And although you see crime diminishing, pedophilia is coming up. Think about what's happening here. And I've gone into my own daughter's school and they got this almost craziness as one of her teachers. Every time you come up to me, I'm like, did you correct yourself? You a man. They don't even want me in that school no more. Come my daughter knows. She said, don't take next to my daddy. My dad get lost. You don't want all that shortcut halfway down. But he's European. And like Professor Smalls and Dr. Jeffries always say, we are our ancestors, they are their ancestors. And we're following them because we need a genetic colonic. We're mixed up with them too much. Got too much European blood in us after slavery. We mixed up, fixed up. So this real, man, we need to protect your children. We need to really form schools. Every Moorish temple should have a school next to it for the children. Like the Nation of Islam back in the day, we had the nation. It's not the nation of we had the University of Islam. Have a school, Clyde Muhammad School. Have a school next to it. No, serious. And Clyde Muhammad in Brooklyn is going through some financial problems. Look, one of y'all step to them and get half of that school. That was the building that Malcolm X has his name on the deed. So if they're going through problems over there on Bedford and Madison, why shouldn't we step over there and say, look, we'll help you out with the rent or with the mortgage and whatever we have to, and let's get half of the school for our school. Why not? And the woman is, the principal is named Sister Deborah. So go check her out, please. I was talking about something one of the leadership from North Side too, and if the Nation of Islam, hey, let's make this thing happen to save our our babies' lives. We got babies. There's not enough babies in here learning this stuff. Only a few children, one sleeping. They're mentally picking it up. No, mentally they're picking it up. It's all right. He dreams it. No. I know that's to be true because my cousin, who is now 20, studying to be a surgeon. When he was 6 years old, he remembered me coming in with a fez and my crown and everything when he was young. And he called me last year. He said, Uncle Simon, I remember when you used to come and teach and drop knowledge at the Thanksgiving buildings and all that kind of stuff. What's going on? He said, I need to know some information. So I decided to send him some information and some knowledge. Because he remembered me from 6 years old and he's now studying to be a surgeon. Dropping information. So what you say to those babies now? I used to play Malcolm X and all these different leaders over my children's cribs back in the day. Now one of them is studying to be an architectural designer. The other one is now joined the Marines, but he has a plan. He said, yo, Robs, you know I'm an FOI for life. That's what he told me. But he in there learning what he has to learn to come out and do what he got to do. That's what they got to do. So if you're a former military, your children in the military, make sure they have a strong foundation so they come back and teach the community what's going on. That's real nationhood, because we don't have that mechanism. All right, we don't have a military like that. We don't have the money being funded like that. But yet, if you put your children go to the Navy or Army or Air Force or one of the divisions, let them come out and educate you off the phone. Don't talk that stuff because they always monitor them little guys in the military. They monitor them. They got them chipped up and all that. Let's help them and let's help us as a community. So y'all ready for this debate? No, man. I can't hear y'all, man. Let me start talking like this. I can't hear you. Are y'all ready for this debate? What's Sonnet at? I know Sonnet is all around here, man. Sonnet is all over the place. I guess they're getting the preliminaries straight. I see Brother Sharif around across here in the building. It's on, man. Hey there. I see Brother Reggie in the building. Hold tight, Reggie. Give a hold tight to Brother Reggie. Reggie, okay, they got to call you in the back, Reggie. Come on, now. Go around. They got to tell you, they got to set up the back, the boxing preliminaries. They got to set it up. Don't disrespect it, don't shout, don't talk about nobody's mama. We know the laws and the rules and the bylaws. Anybody celebrating an Earth Day today? Any Aries in the building? Any Aries? Because I studied the clock of destiny and all that stuff. So I studied. I know it. Come on now. Aries in the building? Where Aries at? Also, Sonetta, happy belated birthday. Sonetta, happy birthday. When's your birthday, brother? April 7th? That means you're very astute. You need to travel more. Also drink lots of water because that's a water member that needs a lot of water in their body. So please don't take the time. And remember, you need to drink at least half your body weight in ounces of water. Half your body weight in ounces of water. Because you need to keep on constantly getting flushed. And because your fire sign Aries, stay away from spicy food. That will be a damage to you, sir, and your circulation. All right? And because you're in a number 11 year, that's another year for you. Pay attention to the people that you keep around you. And pay attention to your gut feelings because it's very intuitive. Even your dreams tell you that. You dream a lot. Am I correct, sir? You got a lot of deep dreams and a lot of thoughts come fast as an Aries man. You got to really stay focused. Like I said, I'm a numerologist, brother. I just keep it. And some people might try to call it pseudo, but as soon as black people get it, it's pseudo. As soon as we get the knowledge, now it's pseudo. Look here, mathematics is Islam, and Islam is what? Stop playing. From all levels. From the highest, we all live in mathematics, right? Look at us. Brent, Wint, we all live in mathematics. Who else is an Aries in this building? Who else? When your birthday, sister? What? The 8th? You're supposed to own property. Also, you have to pay attention to your teeth, your bones, and be careful of your intestine. As you look at the 8, it's shaped like the intestines. Pay attention to what you eat also. And because you're Aries, spicy food is very also, be careful of spicy food. But as a number 8, be careful of misdiagnosis from wrong medications and prescriptions. So when you go to a doctor, always get a second, third, or fourth opinion. Don't ever say it, especially in Harriet, and Max. They always want yourselves and no brothers. Always be careful of that. Who's the next Aries I see over here? You an Aries too, bro? Now, when your birthday? 21st of March, you are supposed to be a writer and do things that express all your talents with visual arts, writing, music. You like to dance. You like good old school. And you grab your wife and do a dance. It's all right. It's all right to dance with your wife. I still dance with my wife in my house. Sometimes you got to dance butt naked with your wife, sir. In your own house. Do the civilized stuff. Do the civilized stuff. Really love that. Because you like to express yourself. And that's your beautiful queen. When is your birthday, sister? Which one? She's a helpmate to the highest degree because the 20 is a companionship number. She'll always support you, but she don't like to get into any arguments. So she wants you just to stay focused with her. Drink a lot of water also, sister, because water is very important to your bodies. And because you have the 0, it deals with extremities, either extremely to the right or extremely to the left. So I know you've been through a rough life back in your day, especially with relationships. So it's a blessing to get somebody with knowledge. And everybody made each other for a reason. Either they're supposed to heal that person, and if that person is not supposed to be healed, then you're not supposed to be with that person. Because a crackhead can't be with a sober person. If that crackhead don't want to heal, either he's going to bring you to the crack, or he's going to bring you to the soberism. That's not even the word, soberism. But you understand what I'm saying. Who's another Aries in the building? I see an Aries. When your birthday? All right, I'm going to come on. Hold on. I promise. I'll go over there. Wait. When your birthday, sister? Both of y'all are the 30th and the 31st of March? Y'all married? Oh, it's too bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 30th, again, with the 31st, that person born on the 31st, that's a 4 energy that deals with structure and organization. You always have to maintain structure and organization, but expression is a very important part. If you express yourself and dot every I, cross every T, you'll be the leader because the 1 is there at the 31st. There's a 1 in what you need to do to your leadership, and the 4, you need to keep the foundation growing and going. You can't skip from 1 to 3. You always got to build from the bottom up in order for you to accomplish your goals. Happy birthday to you. Who's the 30th? You're Aries 30th? So you're going March the 30th, right? Okay, so you're in your number 6. Yes, number 6 month. This is a 6th year. This is your year of education. This is a year of research. This is also a crossroads in your life. What you want to do, if you want to take it to the next level with your business or what have you, whatever job you're in. And being a number 3, you have to do the same thing. Express yourself, and because 3 is connected to the Jupiter energy, that means expansion and growth. The only way you're going to grow is by being expandable instead of being expendable. So every business level, you got to take it to the level. That means you got to expand in your business, whether it's writing t-shirts, herbs, and keep on developing products in order for you to be successful. You're a leader. You're a leader because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac as far as the leadership. That's the whole spring, coming into spring. When's her birthday? She's a Libra. Woo! October 6th. You right day before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The 6th. Education is your thing. But she also have a 7 alignment number. That means she likes to be to herself sometimes. She needs property also. She needs her own property, preferably near water. Also, gardening would be good for you. Getting in the garden, having flowers, because she loves beautiful things. They love beautiful people. They don't like to argue. So I know Aries, when you like to get in, you need to get out. Don't get into the argument with your wife because she'll just turn it down and shut it down. She don't like to argue because argument get number 6 people sick. Those people born on the 6th, the 15th, and the 24th, they get them sick because they're loving by nature. And any child that I hear that's born on the 2, 4, or 6, or the 8, please be very mindful of them because they attract that magnetic people for not only good but negative. Not only from good people, but from pedophiles. You have to watch out for their teachers, watch out for their daycare structure. You got to watch out for all that people. This is what I do in my readings. I try to get, because it's not how much I know, it's how much I care. Because I've been through with a lot of people, and believe me, the sister called me the other day, and brought me to tears. But she was so happy that I was able to bring, because she said she was feeling it. Remember, numerology is just something that intuitively all of us have it. But some of us second guess ourselves and we don't want to move on our first thought. I'm just here to help you move on your first thought to be your greatest greatness. Hey, this is your time while we're here because two most important days of your life, the day you were born and the day you find out why you were born. Thank you very much. Yes, let's give it up for King Simon holding it down. We rolling, Brother Jabbar? Yes, sir. I want to first give a powerful shout out to the Minister Louis Farrakhan for allowing his soldiers to be in the building to provide all of us in here some security. Let's give it up for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's right. Let's also give it up for Professor James Smalls in the building. All right, where's my brother at? Yeah. I want to say, man, to show you that I have love for my Moorish brothers. My son, Asante, how many of you ever heard of Asante? How many of you know Asante? Through the TV screen. Asante, Africa. I got one of the Moors, was one of my teachers, was one of his teachers. Come on up here, brother. Give a shout out to my brother right here. This brother right here is one of the teachers of my son. What's up? Islam? Islam! So I saw the brother venture into the room after we had sat the brother sat there on his couch. I was like, that little kind of familiar. Like, oh, Shanti, like, oh, Mr. Tunica, yeah, like, what's up, you know? So, you know, I taught him spoken word poetry, and he did develop. He's a nice young man, very humble, you know, common middle school hijinks, you know what I'm saying? But all is well. That was quite surprising. Yes, after our election at Sardana Studios, we finished doing the lecture, so I called my son in the living room to do something. All this time, I didn't know that he was the teacher. So I called him in the room. I said, Asante, come here for a minute. Take care of that. And he looked and he said, yo, is that Asante? I said, yeah, that's Asante. I said, oh, man, that's one of my students in the school. I said, get out of here, man. So, yo, this is a small world, family. See what I'm saying? Thank you, my brother. I also want to thank my brother, Roy Bay. Let's give it up for Roy Bay. My brother, Roy Bay, is the man who really sparked this lecture. Yes. If it wasn't for Roy Bay, Reggie seen the interview that I did with Brother Roy Bay when he came to Sardana Studios. And he heard Roy Bay going in about black. According to science, black means death. And Brother Reggie sat back and looked at it and said, Sir, what's this dude? Yo, call him up, Sir. See if he would like to debate. So I said, all right, let me give Brother Roy Bay a call. I give Roy a call, and I said, yo, Brother Reggie, you know, Reggie want to talk to you, man. You know, he want to chop it up with you. Are you willing to get in the ring? Because of the discipline of our brother Roy Bay, because he follows leadership, Roy Bay said, nah, brother, I would love to, but I have a higher brother that I got to get permission from my people. I can't just jump out there. We have an order amongst us. So Roy Bay said, you know what? Let me see what I can do. And I said, all right, well, let me start making some calls. And I called a few people. Everybody kept saying, you need to get Brother Sharif. He's the man. Sharif is one of the tops. One of the tops. I didn't say he's the best. I said he's one of the top. So I said, let me give Sharif a call. And we on the phone. And, you know, make a long story short, Sharif said, you know what? I'll do it. I got to do it. We got to lay all this to rest. And that's why we're here today. Give it up for Brother Roy Bay, fam. Good to see the boys in the building. Finally, the boys are in the building. I just want to share with y'all, brothers. When we say black, they're all mad. I hear you. When we say black, we're not just saying black is our nationality. You never heard us say that. We always say, yeah, black power. Black is not a nationality. We never said it was. You know, it's an ethnicity for us. It's not a nationality. We know what our nationality is according to white they say. So we know black is not a nationality, family. I want to give it up for Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Let's give it up for Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Come on, good. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But I also have to give it up because we have a prophet too. I don't think y'all heard me. I said, we have a prophet too, and I want the same applause that you gave Prophet Noble Drew Ali to this black man. Come on, bro. Stand up. Give it up. Let go. Let go. Come on, stand up, brother. Look at your face like that. You look bad right now, brother. Stand up and give it up for Dr. Khaled Muhammad. Khaled Muhammad said he was a Moor. He said he was a Moor. But he said, before I'm a Moor, I'm black before anything else. That's what he said. But I don't want to take away from no lecture. I want to bring the people along. Let me give a thank you to my brother, Divine Prospect. Where's Divine Prospect? I called Divine Prospect. And I said, Brother Divine Prospect, I need a favor from you, brother. I need you to moderate this debate because of your brilliance, because you are an intellectual. And the brother said, you know what? Let me think about it first. I got to think about it. He ain't just jump right on it. So he called me back and said, you know what, son, if this debate is moderated right, this debate could be one of the best debates ever. Brother Divine Prospect, give it up for him. Guess what? He's a Hebrew. He's a Hebrew Israelite. So that's showing you, man, we're not caught up on all of this, man. Here we go to our little arguments and debates. But this is my brother, and I love my brother Divine Prospect. I love my Morris brothers. I love all my family in here. That's why we do what we do. And once this debate is over, ain't no more going back and forth with the boys. That's why we call it this debate. To settle it right here, right now. So, without any further ado, I want to bring to you the moderator, Brother Divine Prospect. Let's give it up. All right. We are in the building on today. I want everybody in the audience to give yourselves a round of applause. So this is for you guys. All right? You're going to be louder than that. All right. Not for the people, the movement is null and void. All right? So, we're about to get started. All right, so where's Reggie? Reggie, can you, let's see Reggie on this side. And Sharif, where's Brother Sharif? Oh. I'm going to need you up here as well, Brother Sharif. All right, so while he's doing that, just give me a second, family. So we're about to get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on this Sunday, April 10th, 2016. 2016. We are here at the House of Consciousness, Lions Den. Okay? So, we have two combatants here intellectually. One on my right, one on my left. All right? So we're going to do this in a little Michael Buffer style. Can we do that? Yeah. All right. So first off, on my left, I have Brother Reggie. For over 25 plus years, Brother Reggie has contributed to the advancement of peoples of African descent. He is a father and a brother. His research explores classical African civilizations, particularly in reference to the genetic linguistics and other components of now-valid civilization, as well as sovereignty issues and the civil rights of Black youth. A student of Dr. Leonard Jeffries, he shares in the legacies of Dr. Joseph Ben Yochanan, Professor Edward Scobie, and many other pioneers. Brother Reggie Marbury also served as one of the early board members of the Association for the Study of Classical African Civilizations, Eastern region. He has been a presenter at historic hearings for reparations on the floor at the New York City Council in 2002. He has also served as an organizer for over 25 years for the annual pilgrimage to the resting place of El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, our Black Prince, Malcolm X. Let's get a round of applause for Malcolm X. Right. Lastly, Brother Reggie is a famous pro se federal litigant, and his federal work has led to over 20 federal citations to his case involving civil rights and NYCHRL, as his case helped create the standard for a 12B6 motion to dismiss. He is a frequent guest lecturer on Sign of the Studios and the House of Consciousness, and contributed to several important debates such as Kemet on Trial, Evolution Conference, Kemet War Conference. Many of his contributions as to date are available online in both lecture format and written format. Brother Reggie holds a BS in computer science from the City College School of Engineering, honors awards in Black Studies from the Department of Black Studies at City College, 1988. Honorary Doctorate of Comedic Arts and Sciences from the Institute of Life Sciences. Can we get a round of applause for Brother Reginald Marbury? All right. On my right side, we have Brother Sharif Aniel Bey. Brother Sharif Aniel Bey began acquiring a knowledge of self at age 7 through Muhammad's University of Islam, Nation of Islam Mosque number 27 in Los Angeles, California. He later reconnected with those teachings in the streets of New York City via the 5% Nation. In 1991, his study expanded during his freshman year at Syracuse University when he was introduced to Morris Science via the Morris Circle of Mothers and Sons. Brother Sharif came home to the Morris Science Temple of America in the summer of 2000, and from 2000 to 2007, led the establishment and growth of 2 temples. He is one of the founding members of Ali's Men, a group of Moorish American researchers, in 2009. In 2012, Brother Sharif and Syracuse City Councilman Khalid Bey established Operation Proclamation, a local civic engagement organization. In addition to operating a local study group, Brother Sharif is a husband, father, author, lecturer, business owner, teacher, and well-known advocate for the people. Can I get a round of applause for my brother, Sharif Aniel Bey? are here in America. Third one is there an African-American identity connection to these historical Moors, making us Moors Americans, or are we black African-Americans of the African diaspora as a result of the transatlantic slave trade? Are you following me? First round, those are the major points that we want them to hit. Meaning that they can get whatever data that they want, but we also want them to at least give some clarity on those points. Right? After that, it's going to be a quick rebuttal refutation round. It's going to be about 10-15 minutes depending on time. And the rebuttal refutation round is very interesting because I'm going to give each speaker an opportunity to address whatever information that the previous speaker put forth in his thesis, all right? Just so you guys know, a rebuttal is to rebut an argument is an attempt to discredit it by offering a completely different point of view. A refutation, on the hand, to refute an argument is to produce evidence, facts, or figures to produce it or prove it untrue. So keep that in mind between rebuttal and refutation when both of these individuals are going back and forth. After that, we're going to have a quick break, about 30 minutes. How long is the break? 30 minutes so you can patronize the vendors so you guys get up and stretch before we get into the meat and potatoes, which is the second round. That's the one I'm excited for.
Read that when we come back. That's how you do that.
Oh, you want to wait for that?
Yeah, read that after the break.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to read the second part of the format after the break to get you guys engaged. Right. Everybody's well aware of what we're dealing with, right? Subject matter, point system, thesis, introduction. You guys are aware of that, correct? Yes? All right. So with that, let's get ready to rumble. All right. So, being that it was decided that Brother Reggie would go first, I'm going to let my brother Reggie open it up with his 10-minute introduction.
Not 10, 5.
5-minute introduction. And then I'm going to hand it over to my brother Sharif then. Brother Reggie, it's all yours.
Peace, family.
Peace.
I want to say was Jay.
Talking to Mike.
Was Jay, which is life, power, and stability. I want to say Dua Neteru. That is Hail Neteru. That is giving high honors to the stuff that created this all. I want to say Hotep Dinosuk. That is an offering to the state. At one time in our world, we had a state called Kemet. It was a state. It ruled the world for over 5,000 years, or ruled Africa for over 5,000 years. I want to give thanks to my Sabi'us. Those are my teachers. I have one of my teachers here, Professor James Small.